Palestine. The very name conjures up images of timeless struggle and enduring faith. It is a land etched with the passage of civilizations, a place where history is not merely studied but lived. From the sun-baked sands of the Negev desert to the fertile valleys of Galilee, Palestine resonates with the echoes of empires and the whispers of prophets. It is a land where the monotheistic faiths of Judaism, Christianity and Islam were born, a cradle of belief that has shaped the spiritual landscape of our world. This small strip of land on the eastern shores of the Mediterranean Sea has been a crossroads of cultures for millennia. Its strategic location, a bridge between the ancient empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia, made it a coveted prize for conquerors and a melting pot of peoples. Over countless centuries, waves of humanity have washed over Palestine, each leaving their indelible mark on its landscape and its story. Yet, despite the tumultuous currents of history that have swept over it, Palestine remains a land of profound spiritual resonance. It is here that Abraham, the patriarch of Judaism, Christianity and Islam, is said to have received God's call. Here King David built his mighty kingdom, and his son Solomon raised the magnificent temple in Jerusalem. And it was here, in this land of prophets and pilgrims, that Jesus of Nazareth walked and preached, forever changing the course of human history. The story of Palestine is a complex tapestry woven from threads of conquest and coexistence, of faith and struggle. It is a story that continues to unfold today, a story that speaks to the enduring power of belief and the enduring human search for peace and justice. To truly understand the depths of Palestine's history, we must journey back to a time before the arrival of the Israelites, before the rise of the Roman Empire, to the era of the Canaanites. These ancient people, whose name would later become synonymous with the land itself, were the first to establish a sophisticated civilization in this region. They were skilled farmers, artisans and traders who, by the 3rd millennium BCE, had created a network of thriving city-states that stretched across the Levant. These Canaanite cities were not mere settlements, but bustling centers of commerce and culture. Places like Jericho, Megiddo and Hazor boasted impressive fortifications, elaborate palaces and bustling marketplaces. The Canaanites were masters of bronze working and pottery, their craftsmanship evident in the intricate jewelry, weapons and pottery unearthed at archaeological sites across the region. They developed a unique alphabet, a precursor to the Phoenician script that would later influence the development of Greek and Latin alphabets.
Our pantheon was a rich tapestry of gods and goddesses who embodied the forces of nature and the cycles of life. From the storm, god Baal, to the fertility goddess Astarte, we worshipped in elaborate temples adorned with intricate carvings and votive offerings. Our religious beliefs, deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the agricultural calendar, celebrated the fertility of the land and the bounty of the harvest.
The Canaanites were a resilient people, enduring centuries of shifting power dynamics in the ancient Near East. They interacted with the Egyptians to the south, adopting elements of their culture and artistic styles. They traded with the Mesopotamians to the east, exchanging goods and ideas across vast distances. The Canaanite civilization, vibrant and dynamic, laid the foundation for the cultural and religious landscape that would emerge in Palestine over the coming millennia. The strategic importance of Palestine, positioned at the crossroads of ancient trade routes, made it a desirable prize for ambitious empires. As centuries passed, the land witnessed the rise and fall of great powers, each leaving their mark on its history and its people. From the east came the Babylonians and Assyrians, their armies sweeping across the Levant, conquering cities and subjugating populations. The echoes of their military might still resonate in the ruins of ancient cities like Hazor and Lachish, testaments to the destructive power of empire. The Persians, under Cyrus the Great, brought a period of relative peace and stability to the region in the 6th century BCE. Cyrus's policy of religious tolerance allowed the exiled Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple, a pivotal moment in Jewish history. Yet, even under Persian rule, the land of Palestine remained a contested prize, caught between the competing ambitions of empires.
The arrival of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BCE ushered in a new era of Hellenistic influence. Greek culture, language, and architecture spread throughout the region, leaving an imprint on the cities and towns of Palestine. Following Alexander's death, his vast empire was divided amongst his generals, and Palestine became a battleground between the Ptolemaic rulers of Egypt and the Seleucid rulers of Syria.
It was during this tumultuous period that the story of the Maccabean Revolt unfolded, a tale of Jewish resistance against Seleucid oppression that has become a cornerstone of Jewish identity. This ultimately paved the way for the establishment of the Hasmonean kingdom, a brief period of Jewish independence that would be overshadowed by the arrival of a new power on the world stage, Rome. The 7th century CE witnessed a profound transformation in the landscape of the Middle East with the arrival of Islam. Emerging from the Arabian Peninsula, the new faith, with its message of monotheism and social justice, spread rapidly, carried by the armies of the Prophet Muhammad and his successors.
In 636 CE, under my leadership, Muslim forces entered Jerusalem, a city held sacred by Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. My conquest of Jerusalem stands in stark contrast to the often brutal conquests of the past. I entered the city not as a triumphant conqueror, but as a humble pilgrim. My respect for the city's sanctity evident in my actions. I refused to pray in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, fearing that my followers might later claim it as a mosque, and instead prayed on the Temple Mount, where the Dome of the Rock would later be built.
Under Islamic rule, a new era of relative peace and prosperity dawned on Palestine. The early Muslim rulers, recognizing the importance of Jerusalem to Jews and Christians, granted them freedom of worship and protection under Islamic law. The city, once again, became a vibrant center of pilgrimage, attracting worshippers from across the Islamic world and beyond.
The Islamic conquest of Palestine marked a turning point in the region's history. It ushered in a new era of cultural and intellectual flourishing, with cities like Jerusalem and Damascus becoming centers of Islamic learning and scholarship.
The arrival of Islam, far from erasing the legacy of previous civilizations, enriched the tapestry of Palestinian society, adding a new and vibrant thread to its intricate weave. The Islamic era in Palestine was marked by periods of both unity and fragmentation, of peace and conflict. Yet, amidst the ebb and flow of history, certain figures stand out for their leadership, their piety, and their commitment to justice.
One such figure was Saladin Yusuf ibn Ayyub, better known to the world as Saladin, a Kurdish Muslim who rose to become Sultan of Egypt and Syria in the late 12th century. My capture of Jerusalem from the Crusaders in 1187 CE is legendary. Known for my military prowess, I was also a man of deep faith and compassion. I allowed the Christian inhabitants of Jerusalem to leave the city in peace, and I am said to have personally intervened to protect religious sites sacred to Jews and Christians.
Saladin's reign ushered in a period of relative stability and tolerance, with Muslims, Christians, and Jews coexisting in relative harmony. His legacy extends beyond his military exploits. Saladin was a patron of the arts and sciences, and under his rule, Jerusalem once again became a center of learning. He restored the city's infrastructure, repaired its walls, and built hospitals and mosques.
My reign stands as a testament to the potential for coexistence and cooperation between different faiths, a beacon of hope in an often turbulent region. My example of tolerance and respect for other faiths would continue to inspire generations of rulers in the Islamic world.
It is a legacy that remains relevant today, a reminder that even in the midst of conflict, compassion and understanding can pave the way for peace and coexistence.